this thing running. Looks like the stream looks okay. All right. We are here. Need to just check this out quick. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to show you this chart here, because this is what I'm looking at right now. Delete that. Morning, Mr. Frias. We are. I mentioned in my write-up and then earlier this week that I would not be surprised if we do hit off on all-time highs this week. There's just something about the way price action has been going. This sweep on Friday, kind of stopping dead on a dime, right, basically at that 277 level, and the CPI area getting flushed, kind of brought that idea into my head that say, okay, if we go sideways, I wouldn't be surprised. If we kind of continue to just leak down, I wouldn't be surprised. But the more likely scenario is all-time highs become breached. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Although we are opening on highs today, I think we do get some sort of pullback on the open, which could be the good opportunity for us to execute on. I think longer term that potentially this high will get cracked. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I just want to see where we're at right now as for my opportunities here. This is a 30-minute chart. We're starting to get into territory where price has not been executed that much, right? It's only spent, 1, 2, 3, 4 days total here. And even this day here, didn't really spend much time there. It flushed through it and then broke and disappeared. And then up in here, a lot of this action was kind of quick and whippy, so there's not a lot of liquidity sitting up above, except for maybe up into that 920, 910 to 930 area is where there's more congestion, more orders were taking place, so there may be more interest to get through where we're at now and rotate up into that 930. And then once you start getting into that territory, those all-time highs are never out of the realm of possibility. So something where we start to catch a trend, you run into that 930. Maybe that's where we end up, and then Thursday and Friday you start to rip up with non-farm payrolls on Friday. Could give you that last little hurrah into the weekend. So just be mindful of that scenario kind of playing out if that's something that you're thinking about. I know that's what I'm thinking about. I don't really like trading all-time high levels. So like I said, this month is going to be a little wonky for me with everything. So like right now, I do have this one XFA that I set up and got established yesterday. So you can see it here, express funded right on top. Probably not going to be trading that today. I am going to be executing on the other combines and trying to just maximize funding as this month goes on. It seems like the GameStop hurrah has come to a conclusion. Everything has kind of faded back to where it was prior to his tweet. So see what happens with that. If it does start to explode again, if he tweets or something. Everybody seems to have sold that off. NVIDIA, if you're looking over here, NVIDIA showing signs of acceptance over yesterday. This I was mentioning yesterday, we were kind of in this range for a bit. We did have that gap up. Post earnings, we had a gap. So post earnings was here. You end up pushing up. Then you had a gap up, setting on top of that gap up, push up into here. Over the weekend, they had some AI meetings and stuff, and everything kind of came into play where NVIDIA's really not done ripping. So I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to rally up. If NVIDIA continues to rally, then we will see that push on in Q as well. And then so Microsoft is also, this 412 zone I've had drawn up for the whole year, and it's just come back to touch it every time. And then the 406 level down below as well. But it seems like 409 is acting as support. 412 zone kind of was a liquidity grab, and then now we're rotating higher, right? Higher low, starting to break the new the higher highs here. And now could look to see if it'll rotate back to where we were when we were at all-time highs. So like I said, I think if we start to push the NQ up, these names are going to start to catch up, and then as well as Apple actually even still playing along as well. So Apple still, I don't know what happened with Apple here, but apparently it's gone. Something's going on with this chart, and I can't get it to stop. So we're going to get rid of that. Oh, okay. Apparently my whole chart's messed up. That's good. All right, well, we'll get off of that, and I'll fix it over here. All right, we got 2 minutes to open. Let's see how this day winds up. I got to figure out what's going on with that chart. That's kind of weird. Still pushing. This is going to be a open. Watch the overnight range. The opening range, I should say, and then see what happens from there. Alrighty. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. I fixed it, but that was weird. All right, we're ready to go here. So we are riding that upper VWAP band here as well. So good delta pushing right into the highs here. I mean, this overnight high is just going to be caught here. So I'm going to use this as the level there. Let this thing jump around a bit here for the first minute. Good morning, Carlos. So I need this to do that, something there. Let's see if we can get this to push back up to those highs, because this opening range is a little too wide for me to be shorting, but usually when that happens, it melts off. So I think that could have been a nice little short from right off the jump, easily off there. That is a 120 tick opening range. This is anticipated. This is what I'd like to see on an open on that kind of rally. 844, I feel like, is that key level, right? This white line there. So if we can get back above it, kind of maybe wick it, and then start to rotate back down, then I'll look to short that this time. Nvidia's selling, so I mean, can we just sell below this opening range? That's a lot of risk, though, for one big whippy candle. I'm going to let it dance a bit. We are still copying a couple combines here, trying to get ourselves couple more fundeds before the end of the week, so we are going to be doing that. We're going to do this with 2 contracts if we do enter this. I want to see this thing flip up, get it up over that level, and then fail it again, and then that's when I'll look to get that entry. Delta pushing up higher, not quite making that new high, so that's good. If we start to fail this lower end, I'll short down here too, but I'll only risk up into there. But I would like it to get back above 44. Like I was mentioning on the that quick breakdown before the market opened, I said this sell off probably comes in right away. I definitely think that that's where it's going to end up, but I do think that all-time highs this week are potentially in the cards the way that the price is reacting. So I would be cautious over 44.50 up into 29.29, right? I mentioned that as well because there's kind of not a ton of resistance overhead. Let it get up there a little bit further. Let it get a little further. We do have those volume nodes right here, 850. If we crack this low, then like I said, the short above this, maybe this zone, this 30 level here could give us a little bit of risk. It's dancing around. Dancing around. I'll have the sell market order ready. I'll take the short here with this. Be it even on it. If it gets to flush, all right. I took the break even on that quick. I was gonna look to take one contract off and then let the thing kind of play out, but I didn't trust it right there with that. I do like this better. I would like this to get up here. What in the world? Oh. Yeah, something's going on with my charts on TradingView. Not sure what it is. All right, we're up a big $14 after that quick little short idea there. I am going to be looking to get this thing short if I can get above it. I need that extra little push to give me that manipulation failure. Except I do like this to be below here. I could short that as well. You can play the breakdown here. Just sell one contract on that to get through the opening range there. There's going to be 810 is going to be a high volume node. Oh, Russell's got a little bounce going in. Oh, we're filled in there. Let's see what happens down closer if we can get to VWAP. 810 is going to be a big wall with all those orders. So if we get to 810, I'll get to even. It's got to get down there. There we go. Come on, get through 810. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone for now. Let it get down there. I think it's like I said, if it gets over 30, it probably stops us out anyway. So I would like to see it kind of break and hold below this opening range low. Delta, not too heavy here, but it is still holding below this opening range low. This high volume node here, this support area, is what I need to see break. If that'll break, then we should get a good flush to VWAP pretty quickly. If it doesn't, then you probably get the rotation to continue. But Russell's selling off, S&P's selling off. So as long as the NQ follows along, NVIDIA kind of just dancing around at the highs, which is the problem there. And NQ and S&P's is selling off pretty good. So this should give you at least one more try downside. So I'll go to even if it pushes down to 10s, like I said. If it doesn't, then it's all right. We're going to get over 30. if it gets down here again, maybe add one, then take one off at 10. All right, we stopped on that. Kind of just tried to force that one there on the break of the low. Could have took off that quick 100, but decided not to. NVIDIA just broke the highs, so that's going to be concerning for this. If we can get this up over this area and then short it, that would be interesting. But look at that heaviness in the ES. That's really what made me hold on to that a bit longer than I would like to. Oh, yes. 8:38 a.m. here, Central Time. I am going to be trying to not trying to. I'm gonna have to get off early today. I do have rifle calls at 11, so I gotta get out of here probably by 10, maybe slightly before. So if I do end up making what I want to make, I will cut. 18,825. 825 is that. Get up over that overnight high. Give it to me. I think 18,823, 824 quarters is a reactive area. You can see it right there. Take one more shot at that. One more shot at the short there through that level, through 25. If we crack this low, then we should be safe. This is how you limit the risk on it. I'll wait to crack the lows. If we can crack the lows, you go to even, and then we just continue to give it a shot until it breaks. Stop sell it again. Add a couple. NVIDIA just loves to kind of wick the highs. Let's see if NVIDIA can roll over and help us out here. Because the S&P is super heavy. The Russell's super heavy. Delta's heavy. We're below the opening range low. We're below this like demand zone that I have here. There's a lot of confluence here for this to continue to the downside. This volume node should be a magnet, I would guess. But it's just not following through. Everything else wants to go down except for the NQ, which is very interesting. This would be if it does flush. I want to just put it on and take it off. S&P is looking to get to that VWAP, and NASDAQ does not want to play along. Does not want to play along here. You can see this wedge forming. There it goes to the high side. Pushing to the top end of that wedge. Probably stops us out right here. Okay. Nice little pop in the NQ compared to the other names. This is why we didn't trade the XFA today, because we're kind of dancing around with it a little bit. I do still think that the short is the good idea here from the high of the day. Being opening right on the high of that pre-market level. I think if we can get through this 24, hopefully we can get rid of it and down into the 794. 794 quarters. I'm cool with taking this. If it doesn't go, the short was here. Letting the stops do its work here. I don't like to dance around in red, but let's see if we can get this thing to short. there's a number in 3 minutes. What number we got? Oh, Bank of Canada. So we have a flash PMI, S&P Global Composite PMI at 845. Stops in a good spot, right? If it does want to hold this and still rotate lower. Very quiet here, looking to see if this will get down there, get heavy. If it adds on, I'm going to tighten up the stop. Obviously, I'm not going to add risk. I'm just going to de-risk after it adds this contract. But I would like to get it on and get it off if I can. But it looks like it's building legs, building legs, building legs. If the all-time high wants to come in, maybe it's just holding on to it right now. And this is the area where it's going to grab that liquidity and run. If not, it should give up the low. I guess they're just waiting for this Bank of Canada rate decision. I did think that there was going to be a more deep pullback into this area, at least into VWAP. All right, it's dancing around with this decision apparently. Yeah, well, if we get stopped, we get stopped. We were already in this trade, so if this number whips us out, that's okay. I'm out flat. All right. We're flat with this number coming out here in a minute. Oh, there's a whip off the top. Canada reported 4.75. Consensus report, they did cut a rate. They did a rate cut. Canada made a rate cut. Our services composite came in at 54.8. And then I think this came in a little bit higher. 54.5. All right. So if Canada cut, then potentially the U.S. is looking to cut eventually this year, potentially. Let's see what happens with the rate cuts. I still think that our composite's still expansionary. Everything came in line. This is slightly higher. That's, we're still where we're at. So a failed overnight high breakout on that rate cut decision for Canada. So let's see if we can get this thing to go up a bit, get a little delta divergence, which is what it looks like, right? Get me up over this high, and then we can rotate down a bit. I will take that short. That is what I was waiting for this whole time. There we go. All right. If I'm going to get this, if I'm forcing these in, then it is what it is. But this is what my setup likes to look like over the overnight high. And I'm calling the overnight high that shelf level here, even though we pushed up into this level here. So technically, we really could wick off the high here and then still come down. So I'm kind of front running it a little bit there. Hopefully it just goes now. NVIDIA looks like it is pushing high, so it could just rip this face off to the high side. Yeah, it looks like it wants to go. Alrighty, so we're probably going to end up getting stopped on this one as well, and we're just going to wait and see if we can make one more good trade on this day. This is not really the best session for me right now. The first two I took were a little chasey. This one's the right play here. We do have a lower high. Delta is pushing up though, so we are stopped there. We're just going to wait now, just be really patient on the rest of this, see if we can get this to flush down. I think that now though, that was a nice wick off bottom here at 844 up over this level. If it does get up over this level, 891 will be the next upper resistance, then up into 929. Do I take the shot at it with this? Would like it to wick the high. If it does break this opening range low, it does probably have that rotation downside to the VWAP at least. If we end up rotating through the high here, like I said, up above 79, this level here seems like it's important. It may drag into there. And then also, like I said, 91s is right here. It's not too far off. And then 9 o'clock, we have the ISM services PMI number. So probably just wait for that number to come out before anything really comes into play that a direction gets chosen. So right now we might dance around until that number comes out. So let's see what happens with that. Probably didn't want to mess with this. Yeah, like I said, today's stream is going to be cut a little short because I have to do rifle quals. I do want to short this. I like it short. I'm going to take it and then see what happens. Oh, and we're done. So we got locked out on these. We max drew down on these accounts really quick. A nice little 40 minutes. I bet you this does go, but I didn't wait for this setup to come into play. So impatience came in, kind of sloppiness on the on these combines right now. Back to even pretty much. So still going to keep working on these over the next week. But NVIDIA just cracked the high, and it is actually pushing up pretty hard. So watch NVIDIA push. Watch to see if this cracks this through. I think with so really, if I would have took my profits here and then took my profits here, it would have been just fine. I've been up like $200-300, but instead we max drew down because we let them roll over on us, trying to let them play out. But this probably comes down to here. There's the S&Ps pushing off on the VWAP finally. So S&Ps hit off on VWAP there. I bet you that we get some now, the catch-up coming. But NVIDIA is pumping, so that's kind of what's holding us up. NVIDIA, Microsoft's kind of just chopping around on the highs. There goes the break. So the trade idea was right. The timing was pretty piss poor. So there you go. There's the heaviness. Oy, gotta love when you get stopped out stupidly. Get this breakdown here. VWAP comes in, and then these levels come in here. So just be mindful of that 25 level. This level here needs to give up. If this gives up, then these lows come 794. I mentioned 794 is that target to the downside. So if you are looking to take this short, or if you took it already, then good on you. I got stopped out because I lost a couple stupid trades. S&P's just cracked its VWAP. If you did take it, you should at least be at even. I mean, there's no reason to have lost any money on it. But should have been able to, if you put two on, let's say, take one off, take another off, and then let it run. That's a strong 25 level there. This is the back and forth. Wait for the 9 o'clock number at this point now, since that flush there was beautiful. I think that was really, really nice. gosh. There's that push and a rip. NVIDIA is still cranking, like I mentioned. If NVIDIA is still going to crank, I mean, it's amazing that NQ is so diverged compared to some of these other names. Russell's way down. NQ still, I mean, ES is still below its opening range, and the S&P and the NQ is still trying to push higher. So it's relatively strong compared to all these other names. If you do catch any sort of bid on anything, then the NQ probably just continues on. Like if some of these other indexes start to catch up, then this does get pumped. But if they start to continue to melt off, this probably just fails again and rotates down. This short could have netted you good $500. This one as well. So, I mean, really, you shouldn't be drawn down. I shouldn't have been drawn down this much. I was kind of be a little bit aggressive on it and on these combines and kind of screwed myself there. So, it is what it is. Back again tomorrow with these accounts. All right. If anybody's looking at anything, let me know. We've got 5 minutes till that happens. We are drawn down on these combines, so we are locked out. But going to stay here until 10 and kind of just talk through what I'm seeing, what I should have done a little bit differently here. This was the short. This was the idea. Should have been able to get at least some off of that, but I took two short. I was going to take one off, didn't. Took the break even on it, so that kind of screwed me off there. Then again, I was up about 100 on one, came back, took a full loss on it, and then we did the same thing again, up about 100, then took another full loss, and that kind of just crapped us out. So playing with the level, sometimes you just do a little too much, especially on these combines. I get a little bit too aggressive on them. It's either max loss or try to get some good wins on them. If we fail this overnight high here, this is a failed breakout, right? Because you got a breakout here, overnight high. Technically, the overnight high is here. This is the candle right before we opened. I just like this level better because it was the breakout point right here at like 815. So using this as the level to me was a little bit more indicative of where we were at. It's also closer to that 844.50 level, which is important on my longer term charts. The bounce is in. If this number comes out in a way that makes it appear to be a good number and lean towards rate cuts. Bank of Canada just cut rates. So since the Bank of Canada just cut those rates, there's an indication that the Fed may also be leaning towards rate cuts now. I think, like I said, 79 up to 91 should be that upside overhead resistance, the first level. And then if you get through that, I mean, there's really not a lot of resistance up to 929 and an all-time highs. So let's see what happens with these numbers. This break of this level should give a little bit of heaviness. NVIDIA selling a little bit. I don't know how this happened. My I don't know what the hell happened here. I don't like having this on the left, but it's there. Okay. The my trading view chart on the NVIDIA chart switched from the right side to the left side, and now it's just confusing me. I don't know. I kind of just started out with some weird action, and that's that. That's how I end up my day right there. Okay, 3 more minutes till this number comes out. Probably get a little bit of choppiness until then. You'll start to see that the price will bounce around a bit leading up into it, and then you'll get that algorithmic movement, whatever direction it decides to go, and then watch for it to settle, and then you could either react to that or not. It's up to you on how you trade it. We are hovering above this key level at 44. I think there's not a ton of resistance up to 79 and into 91. If it fails and gives up, then we can rotate back down to 94s, and which is going to be down here just below VWAP. If you start to hold below VWAP, then maybe watch that previous day high for just an interesting level to be noting. And then where I'm not sure if targets are going to be able to be reached. I mean, 757, probably right into that range. But if this number comes out favorable for the rate cut thoughts, then with the Bank of Canada just cutting their first rate cut, then potentially this does push off and push into these levels here. So 2 minutes. Two minutes. 1 minute until this number comes out now. 1 minute. Personally, should not have traded this with the numbers. We should have waited till 9 till that number came out and then traded it, but it happens, so we're good. Still just kind of waiting, watching to see if you guys have an idea. I'll talk about it through if we get that failure, that divergences. You do have that delta here working to break through these highs. If it does, then price will probably catch up, push through the highs. If price gets up through here and delta still continues to be flat or starts to curl over, be mindful of that. You have 10 seconds till this number comes out. You can see the spreads kind of popping around, dancing. Let's see what happens to this with the algos and delta. There's the pop and the dump. 53 came out. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's the sell. Big time melt. And that's very whippy. Look at how much that dances around. Holy shit. That's super, super whippy. Look at the DOM. Look at all this whip, the spread on this. Let this thing settle down a little bit before you trade it. You're not getting a lot of... Their spread's very wide. God damn. Look at that. Look at that whip. To the tick to VWAP, right down to that 800. The low of that candle was 18,800 even. And now it's bounced. So you see that's why you don't trade that number right there. This is a really big wick. I mean, you could either have gotten in and then out quick, or you would have been done and burned because this thing absolutely moved. It does feel heavy still. We're going to crack the high of the range. Still no delta. You see the delta fighting this? Not quite making new highs. Price is making new highs. Now delta's going. So now delta's catching up. You don't really have the divergence now. So it is still pushing through. Be cautious. Let this thing dance around. Let it settle a little bit. Unless you have a new strategy that you like to play. This is a nice little push. Strong delta. Now it's starting to hold below again. It's a very dancey day, huh? So we got from where we were all the way down to the lows, cleared that out, back to the highs. and now we're basically right back where we started pre-number, right? So you could tell that was purely driven by algos, and now it's still very, very, very dancey, very whippy. There's a lot of volatility going on right now. You can see tons of order flashing in and out. The Russell's starting to creep its way back up. You could see flattening of Delta, not getting that follow through to the high side quite yet. If you start to see a curl back in Delta, then maybe that curl comes down. Otherwise, it's very choppy. We definitely don't have a ton of opportunity right now. Would like to see this go. See if that gives up. Delta's now starting to turn. Delta's getting heavy. Price is cracking through that level. I think if this opening range low goes, then so does the price. It's very choppy, but I think that the Delta is getting heavier while price is trying to push these highs. That's the one thing that I'm, sort of thinking about here with this. Well, I'm glad you're down 26 because I'm down 1,000. I decided to just play around with the level early, and I think because of my thought that I'm getting off the screen early, I was pretty much thinking to get in, get out, and do what I needed to do, but I did not. This is very, very choppy. Sideways price action. Morning, Evan. What's up, dude? I like this Delta just kind of curling and still not pushing highs, right? If this pushes up and this doesn't follow through with the Delta, then it's going to still kind of chop around here. See if this will get down through this level, get through here, get through opening range low, hit off into VWAP, and then probably down into value area low at least. And then I think down into these levels here. Hell yeah, good job, Evan. That's what I was looking for. I think short is still the way at the moment. I got kind of duped early, like I said, with these combines. I was only just trying to max leverage these combines, and I kind of caught myself in a couple little shorts where I should have just trailed out instead of held. But because I was tricked by the Russell and by the S&Ps being so heavy, yeah. Down below 18. NVIDIA is now starting to curl a little bit. Not a ton, but this could be the time where this overnight high goes. Overnight high, this is my key level that I think is important. I think this down to here, your first target should be that 20, then down to VWAP, and then previous day highs. That could be your nice little short there, right there, from the failure of that level. S&P's failed VWAP. $18.8 is going to get tagged. I think 18.8 gets tagged. 18,794.50. this 25 level, this 25 level right here, this is important here. So I'm going to give you this. This S&P is way heavier than the Nasdaq, way heavier. The NQ is just relatively strong compared to all these names. It's really because of Nvidia, I'm guessing, because Nvidia is still just pushing high side. It's at 1194. I'm guessing it gets to 1200 without much issue. If Nvidia gets to 1200, then maybe that gives us some idea here. What is going on? I hate that this is on the right. I'm on the left. Reset price scale. There we go. Finally fixed it. Jeez. Okay. Give up this 24 level. Then the heaviness comes in. There's that give up. Let's see if the VWAP comes into play. VWAP should tag. I like this action here for the failed breakout. Failed breakout of this level. Technically, if you wanted to call it this, is the overnight high right there. Failure to break out. Rotate down. Now you're down at this 24 quarters level, which has been support this whole time. You got a couple bids that got filled at 1850, pretty decent size, 1850. Let's see if this will rotate down. Like I said, 794.50, 794.50, 795. So this level, trying to give up, still hasn't quite gave you that hard flush. I'm going to give it about another 30 minutes or so before I cut out and get off the stream. Unfortunately, you got to go to qualifications. And also, I mean, realistically, I just not burnt these, but I max drew down on this today because I just kept hammering into these a little bit bigger than I wanted to. Should have really been up like about a couple $100, but I was a little sloppy on those. The entries were good. I can't be mad at them. I stuck to the plan, right? Everything was according to strategy. Sometimes you lose. I just did it a couple times. These are the combines I'm a little less picky on because I try to get them funded quicker. Do you see the funded account still at 0? Still didn't execute on it, so nothing there. We're looking at these. We are locked out on these. Full transparency on you. I think that the idea is right. I think the execution was good. I think that there's just not a lot of follow through. We should have recognized that from yesterday. There was not a lot of follow through early. I kind of, like I said, I was maybe duped by the S&P and then the Russell. I should have kind of took more account into Nvidia pushing high side that would hold up the NQ as opposed to these other names. So really looking at the S&P trade was probably the right trade. So if you were to take the right move, it would be the S&P breakdown from the opening range low. So the S&P's still heavy. This is very interesting. You're starting to get Delta to buy here. Whoa, there is a pop. Very interesting price action, very sideways, whole lot of nothing. Just that's all it is. Whole lot of nothing. Sideways price action for you. Sort of similar to yesterday where there was just up and down, up and down, up and down. The level, not a lot of key information. I mean, we did get that that data today. Like I said, that 844.50. So this range here, 844.50 to 824.25, it has to accept above one of these. Whatever direction it's going to decide to go, it needs to get out of this little squashed range here that I see coming in. Tilt is heavier, short, 61%. I'm going to refresh this just to make sure. I like to make sure because sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, it's just sitting here. You know, like I said, this was another reason right here, the short idea, short retest, short, you know, opening range low breakdown. Lots of reasons why to take this. They worked all week prior except for today. So today is the day that I'm the one that gets chopped. Yesterday, a lot of people got chopped and I made money. Today, I got chopped. Some people probably made money. So it's just kind of how it goes, right? I believe, so it's Top Step, I believe, is doing, just check this code real quick. See if that works. Mobile 25, if you wanted to get another one. I'm just checking it to see if it is a thing. Oh, that's not it. Mobile 25. Yep, so Mobile 25 will give you $25 50Ks. So Mobile 25 gives you a mobile that gets $25 50K accounts. And then we'll go here. I'll give you that partnerships. I don't know. It works right now, though. They didn't say when. They did not say till when, but that code will work. I just typed it in just now just to see if it would. That's the code that works till whenever. Who knows? Maybe it's just till today. I don't know. Mobile 25 is the code for $25 combine for 50K. I don't see this going in either direction at the moment. Price is just kind of flat, sideways. Got nothing really doing here. Lots of choppiness. This is what gets you in trouble, I guess, right here. I'm sure a lot of people have felt the same way about the today. Yeah, so if you do want to get a combine, if you haven't been in and you're looking to save $25 on your XFAs, I mean on your Top Step combines, then mobile 25 is the code. Look at this sideways choppy crap. Nothing that you would want to execute in. If you find a way to get an entry and get this in, but really you got to be holding this longer. If you're willing to risk to the high, depending if you're in long short from the highs, obviously you're still in the money. You're still okay. You could risk to the high and be comfortable. However, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of these other names are now starting to curl to the high side. So NQ has been relatively strong compared to the other names. If the other indexes continue to curl upside, then you can continue this to push. You have a flat delta though, so push down, price trying to pop up, not getting aggressive buyers come at all. So every pop is getting shorted. So another failure of this opening range low maybe gives you that third touch once, twice, third, fourth time through, potentially rotates you through this level down to the 810, down through 810 and beyond. Who knows? Heavier delta, rising wedge. Looks like it's trying to hold. Russell, where's the Russell at? I lost my Russell. RTY, there we are. Russell's bouncing, and S&P is still going. This is still holding. This is just trashy action. Oh, the first 2,000 people. So it's going to be gone. Use that code. It's the first 2,000 people. That'll go away after 2,000 uses. Even though we hit off on this loss limit here, we're still here. We're still talking about it. I had to get off early today. Got to go to rifle quals. So I think maybe that's a part of the factor of me forcing this in quick. Also, because this part plays into my strategy, right? Opening on the overnight high, basically, I mean, this should have been an immediate sell right there off the jump. Could have caught that quick. Never really taken any heat on it. That's just my bad for not catching it again. Kind of waited for that first minute to close. Then we ended up taking that short there. We were up a little bit and then took a break even. Then we took actually we shorted here on this retest. Could have got that down there. Ended up getting stopped at break even. Did it again. Ended up stopped for a loss, even though we were up a little bit. Same thing here. Ended up getting stopped for a loss. And that's what stopped us out completely. So overall, pretty much just the lack of speed on my quickness on getting the break even on these is what got me down this. But that's what happens with these combines. For me, I kind of just try to get a little aggressive on them and try to get past so I can be done with them, which also gets me into trouble sometimes in the morning. So didn't take it too serious as far as limiting that last loss. But and also, if this was an XFA, I would have been way more picky. And then I would have also not came close to this drawdown limit. I like to stay far away from that drawdown limit as far as my personal daily loss is 500. back at this opening range high. Russell is now trying to push up, so I would be interested if this pops through here. The top step, let's see if that, it says 25. If you use it, looks like it says 25. With that promo code, it says $25 a month. If you click 50K, click the combine, it's normally $50. If you use that code, mobile 25, it should get you that $25 a month on that 50K, Charlie. I'm not buying one, but that's one of 2,000 that'll stay on there. There's that pop now. Finally getting a breakout. Probably gets a pushed up to 91. As I mentioned, right? NQ has been relatively strong compared to the other names. If the other names start to catch a bid, then the NQ is going to lead us to the high side. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. I also said I wouldn't be surprised if all-time highs come in. I don't know about today, but 929 is my upside target. I think this blue line here is where I think that we start to run into. I don't think there's anything until there that's really going to stop us. 79 will give us a little bit of resistance, which we just hit and just ran right through. 79, 91, and then this 928, 929. So up here is really where I was interested in this to be along to. So if you go back to the beginning of the video, beginning of the stream, you'll notice that I mentioned that I would not be surprised if all-time highs come in. And it's unfortunate for me, like I said, that 79 got tagged. So 79 is where there's resistance. 79 up to 91. And then at 929, I don't think there's a lot of resistance up to 929. This is very new all-time high area. So, and also the previous all-time high was made in a pre-market session. So markets don't like that either. Is today the reason that it makes an excuse to break and go to all-time highs? It could be. It could be. So once we've failed to break down that 24, 25 level, this wick kind of indicates that it didn't want to rotate lower. I liked the short, obviously, based on all the other indexes being heavy and rotating and trying to catch these. Fine, right? That's why I'm where I'm at right now, P&L wise. But the analysis is telling us, the price action is telling us that it does not want to fall over. You're getting good delta pushes now, so aggressive buyers. So the push down, choppiness, flat delta. You finally broke through this shelf. Once you broke through this shelf, the delta also broke through. So then you have that confluence of aggressive buyers stepping in. And then obviously once that overnight high broke, 79, 91, and then wherever else from there, right? 79, 91. Those are the two levels I was mentioning. So your first two profit targets were tagged pretty quickly. I think 929 kind of will be the high end of the day. If not, all-time highs are in. But 91 is that resistance right there. You see that ran into something there. Heavy delta right there at 91. This is why the NASDAQ and the indexes are very sometimes tricky. The divergence really was what got me on that. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I mean, most of the time these guys work in unison. Sometimes they diverge. Sometimes that divergence helps you make a good decision. Sometimes it burns you on holding some of these longer than you wanted to hold them, right? So execution-wise, trying to take this short, we were up decent. Could have just took the profit on one of these and been done, and then waited, right? So personally, execution-wise, I just probably I was a little slow to react. Otherwise, everything else plan-wise was correct. This level here, technical, I'll call this, I moved the overnight high to this candle because that was prior to us pushing up right into here. This was that other overnight high, like the actual 1 minute prior to, that was the high prior to market open. So this is why this is the breakout point for here, likely breaking that pre-market high. The failure. This seems like, okay, that's our strategy. Usually you want to get that to VWAP. Didn't quite get there. Still gives you a good opportunity to take some money off the table down here at the lows. So if you did want to play this a little bit differently, the failed retest here, we took this one and we were correct. We just were wrong, timing wise. And then again, timing wise. So it's all about that timing. Markets are all about timing. You could be right on your idea a couple times, be up and then still lose money like we did. But as I mentioned, I do have training today. I do have to get out there. Going to stay on for about 10 more minutes or so, see what happens with this. I think it does get up into here. $18,929 is the high of the day if we get there. I think it gets there easily if it gets through where we're at right now, right? If we get through 900, 929 is probably that overhead resistance where you can start to look to see if it'll start to fade a little bit. The 91 level right here is where I was talking about being a key level. These are levels that I've had drawn up for a while. 91.25 is what literally right where we're at right now. I said that's probably going to be a reactive level. So we're at that point right now, 91.25. If this doesn't give up, then we rotate back down into here. But I do feel like it's going to give up, and we're going to probably rotate right through up into 29s. So there it goes right there. Gives up, goes up to 29. So maybe I could start playing breakouts if I'm just talking through these and able to tell you kind of where these go and whatnot. But just understand the dynamics of these longer term levels and whatnot. It's crude oil coming in now. So it's a surplus in the oil inventory. I think it gets up right through that level there, the 910 up to 929. 910 is the next level, and then 929. So this is good. There it is, the 909s. I already have water. Thank you. I'm going to get off in a minute or so. Yeah. Thank you. Didn't you have ninja class?
Yeah, we're leaving.
You're leaving now? Okay.
10 o'clock.
Okay.
We're leaving at 10.
This is going to pop that 29. Look at that beautiful call out. Couldn't capitalize on it because we drew down ourselves, but just kind of the way this price action was telling us that this 24 did not want to give up. I think that level, that 29 probably does kind of flush it into there. Yeah, at least, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great squeeze. I decided to fight the power here early, and then kind of talked about how if this level gave up, it was going to go up to 929. So that 929 level is pretty much right here. Hey, good job. Absolutely. With these combines, after passing yesterday, I kind of got a little bit aggressive this morning, trying to just maximize these other ones. I didn't trade my XFA today. Just flat on the XFA, $0 here. So you can see across the top of the screen, the funded account is at 0. I just didn't trust the price action. I guess I was smart to not trust the price action today because I tried to kind of hammer into these shorts. I probably should have been up like around 300 like you were. I just didn't take the money because I was watching the S&P fall off the table and an NQ was just holding. So the combines I'm just a little bit reckless on, and I don't want you to necessarily follow me as far as size and stuff is concerned. If you've never passed a combine or if you've never done anything like that, just be careful with your combines. Treat them like you're going to treat your real accounts. I wouldn't be mad at these trades either way. I think the NQ holding is purely based on NVIDIA. I think that's really all it was, that NVIDIA was holding this up. And I mean, like I said, this is going to hit off right in this area here. 929.75. This is 928.50, but I think 929.75 tags. If it gets through that, all-time highs are in. I did mention that early today as well. If you go back, even if you read the write-up, I posted it in here. If you read the write-up, the last thing I said was I wouldn't be surprised if this week we tag off on all-time highs. The market needs a reason to go down. The market doesn't have the Feds saying anything today. There's no Feds this week. They're in the quiet period, so they can't jawbone anything. So the price can't get manipulated that way. A lot of these numbers are coming out sort of favorably towards a rate cut. Canada just cut rates. So anything that's in that realm of we're going to do some sort of cutting or anything like that, then there's going to be that push up. So there's that push ups to the high side. So that is my 929 got tagged off. So if I mentioned that earlier, if you rewind, you could always see why I talked about why that 929 would get hit. We've only spent about 3 to 4 days up at these levels, and when they were up here, it was very whippy. If you go over to the alerts, and I'm not sure if they are still there, but I'll copy it and paste it. I usually post the write-ups around Sunday night around midnight Central Time because I get home from work and then I just do a full analysis of the week. This week was a light write-up. Wasn't anything crazy to go over. We talked through kind of the levels that I was interested in, all-time high levels, potentially getting tagged off on this week. Once it gets up there, who knows what happens. I'm going to be very cautious at these levels, see what happens. This is a straight up squeeze. Yep, I could see that, Evan. Like I was mentioning down here at this 24, 25 level, 18,824. This is my longer term support level. I mean, we wicked the shorter term trend line here and then just started to hold. The lack of follow through, and I mentioned with NVIDIA pushing up, with all the other names selling off and the NQ holding up higher than everything and holding and never really getting to VWAP except for that manipulative candle. That manipulation also gives you a good tell of that this doesn't want to go lower, because with that number, usually if it's going to accept lower, it won't wick like that and stay. The next few candles will kind of come back down and try and tag it, and it never really made it there. This was just kind of dancing around. Most of the time, overnight sessions, you fade that. If it's all the way up on highs from the overnight, you get that sell to come in and rotate back down. It's really why I got my shorts. Sometimes you get caught up in it. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. But this liquidity zone here just kind of held. Once it held here and you start to see the delta starting to get flat, it's an indecision here. No sellers, no buyers really getting aggressive. Once you start to see the aggressive buyer step in, aggressive buyer here, and you crack this opening range high, now you start to see that trend and the levels get tagged, right? 79, 91, and 29. So those are the three levels I was interested in. I think now you start to run into some chop. Price will probably slow down a bit here. You can see the delta also thinks the same thing, right? You got a heavier delta here, price trying to make new highs, delta not playing along. So at this level, you're going to get some chop. You're going to get some reactive nature of price. You're going to start to see things dance around. You may even get a pullback into that 900, then see if it'll get back up over that 29, up into all-time highs at 970.75. Well, actually, 19,023. 19,023 is up here. It's up here. All-time highs is up there somewhere. Let's go to the 30-minute. This is the all-time high here. Come on. And we got some screaming kids. It's always good too. Alrighty. Yeah, to me, this is just not where I want to be playing around. I don't like playing in the all-time high arena. It doesn't really give me good reasons to execute. I don't have a lot of much of my strategy has a lot to do with finding previous levels, finding a lot of key reactive points like we're doing right now, right? Like understanding the dynamics of price discovery, price action, and then seeing if we could react off of it and catch small pieces of bigger moves. I would have liked to have caught this move here, a piece of it at least, like I said, if I would have taken, let's call it 2 contracts on this break of this overnight high level. If you take the 2 contracts on here, you take off one at 90 or, at 79 and then try and trail out this one, probably would have trailed it to 91. And then hopefully, if I didn't get stopped out somewhere in here, been able to trade it up into the 29. And then see if I could get, like below this purple zone, I probably would have got stopped here. So, I mean, realistically, you're just trying to trail out as much of this move as possible. I doubt I would have caught all of it. If I took off one at 79, then I would have been at even. Then trying to just understand the price action at each level using the delta. Same reasons I would get in would be reasons to get out. All that fun stuff. So, yeah. 5 more minutes. I'm going to stay on here. If anybody has any questions about anything, let me know. How I came up with these levels, you just let me know. All those things are kind of like things that I'm going to go over when I do the course. I think starting the 17th, we're going to be doing the course. I don't know which days I'm going to get. Hopefully, I'm going to get later on in the dates because I do have family here from the 19th. Oh, the 18th to 25th. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So maybe I'll go like 4th, somewhere around there. Somewhere in that 27th to 28th, 26th to 28th. Maybe I'll be teaching those days. I'll let you know which days I'm teaching. Deck will let you guys know how to go about my strategy, how I've learned over the course of the year, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so I will be breaking down. I'm starting to develop the whole lesson plan now, so it'll be a good little 3-day session of just everything I know and everything you can take away from me. And then I would say attend every single one you possibly can, because then you're going to learn. Maybe I'll take a little piece from me, a little piece from Deck, a little piece from AK, a little piece from Riggs, all these guys, and then see what happens. If you can just piece it all together and make it your own. But right now, it looks like we're going to be kind of just lingering around this 929. Obviously, I drew this up. This is going to be an interesting level. So be in there. I hate TikTok stuff. Okay. Ain't mad at this. Could look to see if the delta divergence. Wow, that's a very big delta divergence, right? You see aggressive sellers coming in here. So potentially, like I said, back down to 900 based on the delta, based on the aggressive selling coming in at this level. Russell's still pushing higher, but does have a little bit of a wick off high here on the 5. And then the S&P is still kind of just lingering around the opening range high. Let me get a pullback to 900. you can see how this delta isn't acting the same as price, right? Every little bit to get a seller in here is getting in, right? You can see that delta gets heavier. Price is trying to push down, but isn't pushing down as heavy as delta is. So there's a divergence there as far as how aggressive the sellers are to how deep the price is coming in. So also, once again, like if you try to make a new high and then this comes up into here, you're not quite making that direct. You can look to see if that will rotate back to 900. Tomorrow we're gonna have a full streaming session. Everything's gonna come back out normal. I'll be on here at 8:30 a.m. down till 11. We will be trading the normal strategy. Not gonna be affected by today very much. I don't think I'll be trading the XFA until next week sometime. If I do, also like I said, I'm trying to maximize the funding over the course of June. So probably be trading a lot of these combines until I pack out all 5 XFAs and then start to do what I want to do as far as just getting settled down, getting into a good rhythm, and then copy trading everything across 5. Today, down 5 of these accounts, or down 3 of these accounts actually. I'm sorry, we drew down on. So we're gonna build it back up tomorrow and see what we can do by the end of the week. Oops. Nothing doing here. Kids are going to ninja class. I'm going to rifle qualifications, and then we will be back here tomorrow, normal time, 8:30 Central. We will be looking to try and, by the end of the week, grab a couple more XFAs, try to maximize our funding. Next week's going to be a little wonky as well. So my streaming over the course of June is going to be a little bit weird. I think next week, I don't know what day. I think it's either the 12th and the 13th. I have active shooter training stuff that I got to take care of in the morning, so I won't be on in the morning. Probably won't be on at all those 2 days. So if you do want to get my full schedule of when I'm going to be on and when I'm going to be off, I'll try and post on Instagram the day prior. So if you do not follow me on Instagram, I'm at Policing Pips on Instagram. I'll post on there every day that I will not be streaming. So if I don't post, normally just expect that I will be on the normal time the next day. If you're in the stream the day prior, I will always advise what my plans are for the rest of the week and moving forward the rest of the month. So I just try to keep everybody involved. Like once I don't have to do all this other stuff, I'll stream every single day, all the time, whenever I can. As I mentioned, the 12th and the 13th, I will not be on. Today I'm going to be getting off here after I'm done with this little monologue here. Then the week after that, the 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 24, and 25. So from this, basically I'll be streaming the 17th, and then I probably will not be until I come on to teach the course that next week following, because I will have family in town. If I do come on to trade, I will... I'll send out alerts. I'll maybe be in the chat, but I probably won't be able to stream that week. So the month of June, you may be on your own for more days than not, but otherwise, I will be teaching my course at some point during the end of the month, whenever Deck announces the schedule. I will, like I said, next week, 12th, 13th, active shooter training. Week after that, the family's coming into town. Then they use my office as a bedroom. I'll try and see if I could set up OBS on my laptop and I could just stream a little bit. Maybe I'll come on for an hour or so at the open, just to let you guys know what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking about. If that's something that you're interested in, hit me up, let me know. Otherwise, I think right now that's about it for the day. Watch this delta divergence, right? Because you have price trying to make new highs and delta's way down here on the lows. So if delta doesn't start to really step up and show you aggressive buyers up here, you're probably going to get some chop around this level. And if not, possibly pull down into that 900, right? So could look to see a failure of this level as your pullback, or it could just continue to just rip to the high side. So I don't know, if you don't have a plan for it, maybe avoid it. But as I mentioned, this is probably the high of the target for the day, right here, that 29-ish area. I mentioned that there is no resistance from here to here based on previous supply. So if you want to learn how to understand why you would get moves and how to pick targets and all this stuff, and when the timing is better, obviously, yes, I was a little duped early, but after that fact, just talking through how this is going, we were able to understand why this was going to do what it did, especially if you looked at it on our chart on this side here. I'm just trying to kind of keep you guys in the loop of what I'm thinking, right? If we just look back to the side, I was talking about how we've only spent such a little bit of time. This is all the time that we spent here. This is a 30-minute chart, and I'm able to fit the entire time we've ever spent at these price levels here, right? So this is 1, 2, 3 days per se. This is a Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's it. That's all we've ever been. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So this is the all-time highs. It was off the screen. I apologize. So Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday. That's the holiday weekend. We got up into here. So when we did come up through here, it pushed right through there with little resistance. When we came down, absolutely no resistance. It reacted from there. It reacted from there. It reacted from there. The only place I see there is congestion where there was going to be is right in here. And that's the only time price spent time. So between 29 and 910 is where we are right now. Between 29 and 910. Look at this chart. 29, 910. That's this range right here. Go back to this chart. Between 29 and 910. That's this flush. This is this consolidation. There'll probably be more and more orders here. Wait for the point of control to flip into here. Probably will get some more action there. If it does pull back into 900, you may get a bounce to push into that 70. And then, like I said, if you get into 70s, then all-time highs aren't out of the realm of possibility, right? So 70 is here, and then all-time highs right there. 70s right here. All-time highs are right there. Be mindful of these levels. Understand why I'm looking at them, why I see what I see. If you don't understand, like I said, I will be starting to go over how I go about developing my levels, developing my zones, understanding volume profiles. Really just overall do your best to limit your risk early and be able to catch opportunities like this if you see them coming. Otherwise, just sit on your hands. Days that you don't lose money is days that you are still, positive, right? You want to limit your losses as best as possible. XFA secured yesterday. Did not trade it at all today. We are flat on that account. It's sort of a reason why I didn't trade it is kind of what happened in that combine, right? This is the reason why I didn't trade it here. I didn't like the levels as much as I executed, but you didn't get that follow through on it, and shit happens on these combines. But to be able to do that and avoid doing it on the funded account, that's what I'm trying to do here, right? I'm trying to get as many funded accounts as possible, but at the same time, I'm not trying to burn those other funded accounts in areas where I don't want to really necessarily be taking, A plus. I want A plus trades out of it, and I didn't get it there. So watch these levels. Be mindful of the chop. You do have a delta divergence coming in here, right? Price trying to make new highs, didn't quite make it there. Delta still trying to roll over. Price rolling over. I think 900 could act as your support to bounce you back up. Do I think it continues to roll over? It really could. It could do anything up here, but that move from here to here was exactly what I was talking about. So, yeah. So I got to get off. I got to get ready. I got to run. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'm sorry that I have to cut early, but that move happened, and that's probably all you're going to get out of it. If things start to continue to get a little bit more more action, stick around, see what you can pull off, what kind of maybe a rotation down you can get. But that 929, I expect it to be the high of the day. And then I think all-time highs come in by the end of the week, but potentially today it could be it too. So see what happens. Until tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., I will see you all then. Deuces.